Hi everyone, and welcome to the season 2 of the Amazing Tennis Podcast. In this season, I will be interviewing a lot of coaches and a lot of players that have been on tour or are on tour currently, and their insights and experiences of what it is to be on a professional tour.
What's up, everyone? We're back with another episode. Emma's already laughing, and I haven't even done the introduction. These are the most fun episodes by far, I think.
Yeah.
Because they're very natural. Like, we've known each other for a while now. Everything, like the conversation. She made me plan like the whole thing because she doesn't understand how busy I am. So I still had to plan everything at 1 a.m. yesterday. And then I can guarantee you we're not going to go as planned at all. No. But there's a plan. But yeah, welcome everyone to another episode. Super excited to do like a recap of what's been going on with Emma's playing career and some personal stuff as well. So yeah, we're super excited to have you. And Emma, I think you're pretty pumped too.
Yeah, I was, well, first of all, I'm really excited to have you here again. We have our co-host back. I did this is the season 2. I already done 5 episodes without you, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah. I'm getting slowly just removed from this podcast.
It's because you don't have time.
Right.
Okay, so next, I invited you to all of them. So let's not get please into on the podcast. We'll talk about this later after the podcast. But remember, we did 2 of these. Okay, no, we did.
Yeah,
we did one
2.
at the Polo Club there when we were outside. Remember with the Q&A?
We did one in the house.
And then we did one in the house. And that's it. Did we do one in the studio?
I feel like we did one with Paula on Idlewild as well.
No. I mean, just recap, like this.
Yeah,
just me and you.
We did one. With
Paula?
Yeah.
No,
not with Paula. We did one here. Me and you as well. We've done like 3 or 4.
But they do really good. These do really good.
That I don't know.
Yeah, because I look and the Q&A that we do, my story, the recap, they do better than the other podcasts.
Right.
So people just want us at
awesome.
the end of the day.
Perfect. All right. So if you should have people post hashtag keep Jose on the podcast if they want to support me staying instead of.
But I mean, do you want to be on the podcast?
Of course I want to be. I am very busy though, so it's tough because I live farther away and everything. But we're gonna get into also why it's not that I can't, but it's we're trying to move the podcast into a different area, so that's gonna be a little bit harder for sure.
And we'll do maybe after every 5 we do this.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're still a co-host.
Yeah. You guys will see me. I don't know where I'm looking. There's so many cameras in here. Perfect. I'll still be here from time to time. But all right, let's get into this. So let's start with a little recap of, I don't know when the last time, on the podcast, you talked about your playing career, and then kind of do a recap from that moment, from the last tournament that people know you played from then. How has it been going? What have you been dealing with? I know you have exciting news about your ranking, so all that stuff.
I actually don't know if I ever did exactly where I started.
Okay.
You know, I had so now we're in September. It's September 13th today. I started playing tournaments in April of this year, and a lot has happened.
A lot.
And I played I don't know, around 8 tournaments total. And my ranking is now 992.
Let's go.
It sounds
That's
so
huge.
much, but at the same time, it's a big milestone.
Wait, by so much, what do you mean?
Bad.
I don't think it does at all. See, it's weird how your mind works. For me, it sounds ridiculous.
Because I know my level. I know my level is not 990 in the world, but I have to be humble about it, right? It's just.
I know. Yeah. I guess that's good because you have bigger goals, obviously. It's not oh my God, I'm done. I reached 908.
Yeah.
No, but it's very, that's very good.
So I'm setting
that's crazy to me.
I'm setting small goals, right? My goal was to break into top 1,000. Okay. I just did that. The next goal is in the next 2 months to break into top 800. Okay. And maybe by the end of the year, it's not that realistic. It's tough. There's only 3 more months left. It just depends of the tournament I play and everything to break into top 700, 600, ideally. Right? That's my goal. It's just gonna depends on what tournaments I play and how I prepare and all that. Is it realistic? Yes, if I'm gonna be playing like week in, week out.
Right. Yeah, but then you also have to like think about the physical side of it and everything.
It's not physical side of it at this point. Like at this point where I'm at, it's more of like financial side.
Yeah.
And actually, yeah, it is physical.
I was like, what? I see you packed with ice every time you play.
No.
What are you talking about?
So now I'm dealing with different things. Like when I started...
It's like she has 10 bags of ice on her head, her forearms, her shoulder, and then she says it's not physical. Like, what are we talking about? But no, I mean, like, you really have to like manage that. You know what I mean? Like, even the most fit players in the world, like Carl Tarkar just went through that. Like, he was completely burnt out mentally and physically. Like, it's too much. So
it is.
But I think what's crazy to me is how fast it's moving. Like, beginning in tournaments in April, and then breaking top 1,000 in the world. Like, you didn't even have a ranking.
No, nothing.
That's crazy.
I started at 0 and you have to really build it up. But I started writing down actually how many points you need to break into top 1,000. So like and then I was like, so when you see that number and you visualize it, so now like by the end of this weekend, I'm going to write down how many points I need to break into top 800.
Okay.
And then I started writing down like how many points I make when I win around here at the 15, at the 35, at the 50.
So then you have a very like clear idea.
So I have a clear idea what I need to win to get there, right? So like going into my last tournament, I just went home for 3 weeks and I played at one tournament in Serbia. So I had like, I don't know, 12 points or something like that.
Okay.
And in order for me to break into top 1,000, I needed like 5 more. So that required passing qualies and winning one round of main draw.
Okay.
So I knew like if I do that, I'll break into top 1,000, right? Mm-hmm. So I knew that going in. So I had kind of like a vision.
I see.
Right? Some people say you shouldn't focus so much on it.
Like, does that work for you? Knowing?
For me, that works. It does.
Okay.
Some people, yes, some people no. Like, and we talked about this in person, not on the podcast. Like, I'm trying to take more control of this whole situation and kind of take charge of my career, not relying so much. Yes, I get help from coaches, from people around me. You need a team, you need people. But Sabalenka just said it to her. Like, you need to take responsibility, right? So that's what I'm doing now. Okay, this is what I need, because you have to be your own manager, your own financial advisor, your own coach, mental, physical, everything, because now I have to plan the rest of the year. Okay, I have half of September, October, November, December. Okay, how is that gonna look like for me to be where I want to be?
Right.
Like, is that gonna be, okay, like, so when I was playing this tournament now in Serbia, and then I was home, I felt really like my stamina was not there. Like, I was struggling. I was breathing heavy. Like, I was getting tired. I couldn't like last the whole match at the good level, right? I'm like, okay, what's going on? So I got sick. So I was home for a week. I didn't really do much. And now I got back here. I've been here a week now. And I've changed a little bit how I'm practicing. So I've been focusing more on footwork, pushing myself in practice, like really like running more, sprints more. To get your
physical level
up
when you're playing.
Because I haven't been doing that. I haven't been training right that. I was focusing on other stuff before, but now it's time to push myself like that more. Right. But like not doing like 3-4 hours a day, like a lot of training and just hitting balls. No, doing hour and a half, but intensity and literally killing myself and getting more out of that. So, okay. And then I was debating, do I train for 2 weeks? Do I train for 3 weeks? Do I train for 4 weeks? And then until I feel that I'm like really ready.
Right.
Then I go into a tournament. Or, so like how many weeks do I need? So I'm advising with some people. I'm kind of listening to my body. So it's been a week now. I've been training, and there's some tournaments out in California, and it's a good opportunity for me to play. I also have housing there, which cuts down the costs. So I decided actually today, I'm going to go next Friday.
Okay.
Which is in a week. And it gives me another week to train here. And then the tournament is going to start Monday. So if I get there Friday, I have a weekend to adjust to the, 3-hour difference and just to the conditions there. And then play Monday in California, close to San Francisco. Right. And play that tournament for sure. So that's going to give me 2 weeks of training here, then 1 week of a tournament. And then maybe, depends how I'm there. There's another one back to back in California, close by, 2 hours away from there, to connect the two. Depends how I'm playing, right. How I'm feeling. Then take a week home off, and those are 235s. Okay. And then there are 215s in Mexico. I kind of talked to some people, like I said, that are helping me, and we're kind of, okay, maybe I need to play some 15s as well. I haven't played much. I've been playing only higher tournaments. Right. Maybe to get more wins and maybe try to win one. Yeah. Just for more confidence. Right. But another thing I also have to think about is altitude. In Mexico, where I would go. Yeah. I have to ask you about that too.
You want to stay with my mom?
Maybe. Can I? I need to cut down the cost. I have to see where in Mexico it is. I was actually going to ask you. Why not?
Well, I don't know what part of Mexico you're going to.
I don't know either. So I was just looking at the calendar. It would be in October. So that would be 2 weeks in Mexico. Then I would come back here.
Mom, you're listening to this?
Well, this is going to be released in October. So she's
never mind.
And then I would go 2 weeks in Paraguay. Do you know anyone in Paraguay?
No.
Okay. So for now, 2 weeks in California, most likely, to finish. So September 23rd, September 30th. And then come back here a week. And then do 2 weeks in October in Mexico. Come back here a week. Then 2 weeks in November in Paraguay. And then depends where I'm at with my ranking.
So there's definitely good, like, pretty packed schedule, like I would say, for the rest of the year.
Yeah, but like I have to figure it out. Do I play Mexico? Do I go at the same time in Mexico? There's some tournaments in the US, but they're like 75s. They're harder. Yeah. So just making these decisions, it's really, really tough, to be honest with you. But
No, but that's awesome. I feel like you're a lot more organized now than before. So things start falling into place, and you're starting to have a more clear plan. Like you kind of went out there, experimented, and be like, okay, this works, this doesn't.
Yes.
Now I have to add this, right? Physical side is not there, so now I have to train like this.
Yes.
Points are not being enough, so now I have to play kind of, you know what I mean? Like things are falling into place, and then I feel like tennis is a big. I was just talking to a friend that I'm like hitting with really early in the morning, and he's from Spain. He played D2, and like I never talked to him about like tennis, and it's incredible how much he knows. And he was telling me about like how important organization is for players. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people, as you said, rely on coaches to have this organization. They're like, there's someone to tell them. And for some people, it works. I know like certain personality types, they need someone to be like telling them, do this, do this, do this. And they just kind of blindly listen and they succeed. But I feel like there's more people that, or at least in your case, I feel like it's the same for me. I need to understand things before I kind of like go 100% into it. You know, I have to be like convinced. So if you have something that if you start organizing yourself better in terms of, like, as you said, schedule, listening to your body, what are you going to play? How are you going to play? And then also in the court, you know, that's another different thing. Like, how do you play your points? How do you play to your strengths? I remember we were talking to Chris about this, like when I was in Virginia, how do you like make the best out of what you have to achieve that success that you want, right? And the goals and everything. So yeah, I feel like that's what I see for you now. Like everything's a little bit more organized than it was before.
Yeah, it's definitely more organized. Like you said, it was a lot of experimenting, seeing, 8 years is a long time not playing. So seeing how I feel here, how I play in altitude, how I play on clay, how I play on hard. So just figuring it out now, I have a better picture, but it's still not that clear though.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna take a lot of time, right?
It's gonna take a lot
of time.
You know?
I mean, it takes. I don't think there's ever like a point in you're like, this is the formula, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It's always figuring it out, and even the best players in the world, they kind of try something out, it doesn't work, they kind of go back to the drawing board. That's the fun part of it, I think. You know, like if you had it all figured out, then it wouldn't be a point to this, right?
Exactly,
that's what makes it exciting and everything.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I actually found out about I don't know if you remember, but you told me about the top 1,000 on your birthday dinner. So it was recently Emma's birthday. We're in September now. When this comes out, it's going to be a while now. But I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Something that at my birthday I broke into a top 1,000. I announced, I said it then at my birthday that I announced the top 1,000.
I completely blanked
out.
out.
Because you looked at your watch, you got a message, and you got distracted, and you need to put it on not disturb because you.
My apologies. Anyway, if I remember,
if it's important, my mom always says, if it was something important, you'll remember. If it wasn't, you won't.
Okay, so. It's your birthday. It's not that important.
True.
All right.
It's not important.
Podcast. So the next topic was you wanted to kind of go over a little bit of how the podcast is going to transition into like a new kind of era, focus more on what you're doing, right? And it kind of came on like an idea, and I think it's great. Taking advantage of the path you're taking now to also kind of take the podcast with you into the environment of the tour players and like how life on tour is, and not at the highest level, but at like the way there, which I think is super interesting. So if you want to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, before the podcast, what we did is like kind of like getting coaches,
nutritionists,
like everything, kind of just talking about general stuff. But now it's really going to be just oriented towards where I'm at in my life, and it's professional tennis, but like behind the scenes of like actually what it takes to make it like not the glamorous parts, right? I will have some top players too. They can talk about it, but they also will talk about how they got there.
Right.
You know, like what it actually takes.
Yeah.
Like what tournaments you need to play, how much money you're not making, how much money you need. Like what worked for this person, because everybody has a different path, honestly. But at the end of the day, it's the same.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
And no, I feel like it's super interesting that you're like taking this path. Because as you said, people don't see kind of the whole trajectory to the top. You know, people only want to see kind of the highest players and the ones that already made it.
Yeah.
But I think it's very genuine because it's what you're living. You know what I mean? It's not like you documenting some people trying to make it on tour. Like you're with them in that arena. So it's like super relatable. It's very authentic, right? Because it's the same thing as you did with your YouTube blogs.
Yeah.
I think that they did pretty well. Like they were very, like, in my opinion, from what I saw, they're very like natural. You know, it was literally what you were living every day. The really bad, the good, the great. So I think it's gonna be really cool to like hear a lot of stories from different people from different backgrounds. And I agree. That's super interesting.
I love the stories. Really, you can really learn from each person something.
Exactly.
You know, everybody has their own story that you can really learn from, and you never know what you can get out of it, how it can help you where you're at in your life. Because either as a recreational player or because everybody in tennis at the end of the day like struggles kind of like with the same similar thing.
Totally.
Just at a different level.
100%.
You know?
100%.
So it's very relatable. Sometimes people think, oh, why would I listen to that? Because it's like, it's not relatable to me. It actually is when you connect the dots.
Yeah. 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 I think we have this idea. I think it's in all sports that I experienced it in golf when I started talking to like players that were really, really successful, how like you feel like they're in another, like they're gods, you know, and they feel like they don't feel emotions or they're like in another level, but they're not. You know, it's crazy how like when you start like hearing how they experience really, really bad like slumps and they have terrible mental breakdowns, like, and they just deal with it better. You know what I mean? So that you can learn a lot, as you said, from those players. So that's kind of like the recap part of the podcast, kind of going over Emma's plans, Emma's tournaments and what's been going on, what the plan is for the podcast, and then now we're gonna go into a segment. A word pronunciation segment.
Oh, no.
So Emma recently reposted a video of her trying to say little. Can you say little for everyone?
I don't think I can do it.
Say it.
Little.
That's not bad. It got better.
Because I was saying little.
In the mirror. It's like little. You got this, Emma.
Little.
Yeah, so
whatever.
Yeah, Emma's English is pretty good.
I learned jewelry.
You don't. You still say it wrong. What are you trying to prove?
Jewelry.
You said it wrong the first time and you know it.
Jewelry.
There we go.
Jewelry.
Good job.
I practiced before.
So, in honor of Emma's struggles with some words in English, I prepared a few words for her. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This first 6 should be quick. These are easy. They're just to get you warmed up, like a little mini tennis action, to warm up the forehand. And then it's going to get a little bit crazy.
Okay.
So this is what I'm going to do.
Oh my God.
I'm going to write word by word. I'm going to show it to the camera and then I'm going to show it to you.
Okay.
Got it?
But why are you writing it? Why didn't you just tell me? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. This is why I prepare the segments. Okay. So the word is this. Okay.
It's easy.
I don't know if they can see. Can they see it? They can see it. Okay.
Psychiatrist.
Oh, that one. Perfect. That's impressive.
Easy. That's easy.
I thought we were going to struggle. I'm not going to lie. Okay. Next one. This one's tough. This one I can't even say.
I mean, your English is not perfect.
All right. Relax here. Second word.
What does it even mean?
I don't know.
Lysion.
No, try again. I don't even remember how you pronounce it.
Please.
Liaison? Do you know?
Liaison?
Lesion? No, it can't be right.
What does it even mean?
Let me see. Liaison.
Liaison.
Okay.
Liaison.
Liaison.
Yeah, but I don't even know what that word means.
I have no idea what it means. Okay, I'm gonna go like this because this is gonna take too long.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. Nauseous.
That's really impressive. These are easy though.
Colonel?
What?
Colonel.
No, you're looking at the wrong one. Oh yeah, no, you're looking at the right one.
Colonel?
That one's pronounced Cardinal.
Colonel.
Cardinal.
What?
Cardinal. You know which one I'm talking about? Colonel. Like Cardinal is pronounced colonel. No, it's written colonel, but it's pronounced cardinal.
You see, these are like it should be like
it's
something
so weird.
Like little or jewelry that are like.
Say it again.
Everyday words.
Jewelry.
Jewelry.
All right.
Jewelry.
Here come the tough ones.
Can I just see it?
No.
Okay, like seriously. No.
Try it.
Oh my God, my head hurts. Embogisment.
That was terrible. Emborgios.
Are you kidding me?
Emborgios cement.
Okay,
cement.
Great.
That can't be right either.
That's not right.
Right.
Okay.
We're going to do one more. Last one.
You need something realistic. Like, that's not realistic.
Remember that time we did the polyfoly, whatever it was, with Iris? That one went pretty well.
Which one?
Here we go. Last word.
Oh my God.
This is not that hard.
Polyphyloprogenitive.
Polyphyloprogenitive.
Yeah, polyphyloprogenitive.
Good job, Emma.
Good.
Good job.
Give me a simple one. Or can I see the other one?
No, the other one were too easy.
What is it?
Yeah, there's some words that throw me off, like
Choir. Choir.
Oh man.
You see, like this choir. Okay. Isn't it the
like? There's some words that I don't get. Colonel, like how do you pronounce? That one's pronounced cardinal, and it's with an L.
Oh my God, this is so much.
It's cardinal, right? but they it's written like with an LONEL.
And these
doesn't make sense
like
whatsoever.
at the bottom here. No, like I don't even know what these words means.
Nobody does.
Nauseous.
Notebook, please. All right.
That was not successful.
That was not successful at all, Emma.
We tried.
Okay. So now these topics are more, I thought about this, things that can be useful to players, that are listening to this, whether you play college, high school, or you're like in the club level, right? I feel like, as you said, everybody struggles with these, and then you could bring a lot to the table in terms of how you're dealing with this on your tournaments, right? So the original question was like, or the original topic was building confidence in tennis, right? So obviously, it's obvious that when you start winning and you start succeeding, confidence increases, right? Everybody knows that. Everybody can feel it. But how do you start building that confidence, or what methods can you use when to start winning? You know what I mean? Someone that hasn't had success, or maybe just getting into tennis, got better, and now they're ready to play tournaments. Or they're playing tournaments, they haven't done too well. How do you get out of those like slumps or those struggles to start building that original confidence, to get those first wins and then start building on that?
Great question. And that's something I feel like in tennis it's so tough, because you have to learn how to deal with losses, right? Like on a small scale and on a big scale. Like in the matches, first of all, like you're gonna miss a lot. You're gonna lose a lot of points. You're just gonna do it. Like it's inevitable, right? So it's having that calm, like stoic mindset where you're just forgiving yourself for those mistakes, like meaning you're not too hard on yourself. Like, but that has to come with like clarity in your head. If you know what you're working on, like if you know where you are in your game and you know, okay, I did this and this. Okay, I missed this forehand. Okay, I'm not going to get upset that I missed this forehand because I know I did this wrong, right? Like, I mean, it just happened to me this morning in practice. But like, if I know it was a sloppy mistake, then it's like so hard, like not to get mad at myself, right? And to like keep going. But this is, I think, what like separates like, and from talking to so many people about this, what separates a great and average player is that they can like move on pretty quick from that. From the mistakes,
right?
And from the loss, from the loss of the point or loss of the match. They don't get stuck on it for too long. The ones that get stuck on it for too long and get upset for too long, it carries on in the match, and then you you lose 1 game, 2, 3 games because you're still stuck on that game and thinking so much about it, right? Yeah. So like, okay, so building that confidence, that's like, it's tough. It's something that I'm working on with myself right now. Honestly, it's tough. You keep going to these tournaments and you're losing week in, week out. Yeah, maybe I win a match or 2 or 3, but then I lose again. And
it starts kind of like building on you, right?
And then you're like,
again.
Am I good enough? Why am I doing this? You know, all of these questions but then if you have a clear vision, if you have a clear plan, if you are working on some things, if you're focused on your performance, on your development instead of the outcome, then you're not going to be losing that confidence that much, because you know you're on your path.
Right. Like,
right? Does it make sense?
Yeah, no, totally. It like, you redefine success, right? You're kind of like, your success is your process. Like, that, I love that. And I think you really touched on something really like from what you were saying, I kind of concluded it's almost like the great players, their strategy to build that confidence when things are not going great, it has to do more with your mistakes than it does with your successes or your victories, right? Yeah. It has to do more of how you deal with the bad things or like the struggles than how you deal with, everybody can deal with the wins. Like everybody loves winning. But I feel like as you said, confidence building has to do more with the bad shots, the bad rounds, the bad sets, the bad tournaments, the bad streaks of tournaments, right?
Yeah.
And how you deal with them than really the victories. So
Yes.
I think that's super important. And again, like going back to the beginning, everything kind of like the key to everything is having a structure or a plan, right? Because if you're, and I feel like this, in my opinion, it's not like worked enough with juniors nowadays. Like I feel like the mental part, yeah, is growing for sure, right? Like than it was in the 80s or in the 90s. I think in every sport it is, but I don't feel like it's just quite enough. You know what I mean? Like, or at least the juniors that I've worked with or what I've seen were from the players with Chris, from players that are just starting. Like there's so much struggle mentally and emotionally. You know what I mean? Like, and then it kind of doesn't get addressed, you know. They kind of just like, oh, like good attitude, just like fix your attitude, but that's it, you know. And then they just grow into players that do develop, but they develop, maybe they could have developed better or develop with a lot of issues. That way they drop the game, or that's why they get into a really bad streak that kind of they're like, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore. Or you don't develop, I feel like you're developing the technical player without developing the person. I don't know if that makes sense. I think that's very important. I mean, I'm incredibly, like, I have a strong passion for the mental side of sports because that was my biggest struggle in golf for sure. Like I never thought like the technical part was the problem. I had a very, as you said, clear path of how I'm going to work in my swing, what I need to work. And it's very straightforward. Like there's not too much confusion or too much to figure out in that sense. You put the hard work in, at smart work, right, with a plan. Things like you get better. It's just simply, but mental, it's very different. You know, when you're dealing with emotions, with how things, like you might think you forget about things, but they really, I feel like they start kind of, as you said, one loss after the other. In the pro level, you're spending money. You have people that you have to maintain or sponsors that you have to kind of like play good for. I don't know, like the pressure that comes with competitive tennis and every sport. It's there. You know, the things that start like kind of getting kind of stuck in the back of your mind, and that comes out on the highest pressure moment. You know what I mean? Like you might think like, oh, I'm over it, whatever. I'll move on. Then you just keep training again. But then when there's that pressure moment, something that triggers those memories, then everything goes downhill. And the worst thing is, it's not only the tennis court. You know. Next question is, I really want to talk about this, like how personal life and tennis like interrelate. But it really affects, like when you're so involved, and I've seen you because I know you personally, and I know how like the tennis becomes part of your life, you know. So anything happens to you on the tennis court, it affects your personal life enormously. And it's not for you, but it's for like everybody that has a job or anything. Something that goes on in your professional life, especially if you're so invested into it, it's gonna affect your personal life, you know. So I think, as you said, kind of putting your focus solely on the process, on trusting. I really hope, and I think you do too, that this message like really reaches as many juniors as possible. Because I don't know, we talk more about juniors that they have like their whole lives ahead, you know. So if you can like prevent things before they occur and have people be healthier athletes, not only physically but mentally, I think that's massive. You know what I mean? And in my opinion, I think there's not enough good coaching and good mentoring on the mental and emotional side of tennis, and how people and players deal with their emotions and, as you said, their mistakes, and be like, yeah, it's going to suck for a little bit. I'm going to lose a lot of matches because there's going to be players that are better than me, but I have a clear path. And then you start measuring your goals. I think that's a great way to start. Like, instead of putting like, okay, I want to win this tournament or beat this person or whatever it is, like very, very outcome oriented goals, make them 100% process, right? Okay, what's my number one goal mental? 2 goals mentally. I'm going to be, every time I lose a point, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to take 3 breaths, and I'm going to say something positive to myself. You got this. Next point, right? Or something. Another goal, I don't know. I'm going to stick to my routine on my serve. I bounce the ball 3 times. I remember my cue, I don't know, like getting my racket behind my head or something, and then I serve, right? So sticking to our routine, every single serve. Even if I'm mad, even if I'm losing 3 love, I stick to my routine. And then that's your goals, right? Or technically, I don't know, I'm slicing through the ball, or I'm attacking the ball, or hitting the ball in front or something. But at the end of the match, you said like, how well did I achieve these goals? If you achieve them, that's a win. Yeah. That's a win. Not if you won the match. Yeah. I feel like that's a huge part of having people be mentally well, you know what I mean? Mentally healthy and emotionally healthy, especially through the juniors, and which is a very tough period, I think, for a lot of players.
I think it comes with that like emotional maturity as well.
Totally. Yeah.
And emotional intelligence. Mm-hmm. So you can't really expect of a junior to have that, to figure that out. like early on.
Right.
You know, like I've worked with players and I've seen players and with myself too. There's just a time where that like clicks and it changes and you see that, right? So that's gonna take some time. But I agree that like it's easier said than done, right?
Totally.
Like especially for people that are very competitive, right?
Yeah.
It's so hard to like not focus on the win and not focus on the outcome, because that's why you're playing at the end of the day, like to win, right? But like it's like so hard to like remind yourself that it's so much more than that. Right. And as tennis players, we like define ourselves on our wins or losses. Like I grew up like that. If I'm winning, everybody loves me. If I'm losing, I'm a failure. Nobody loves me. And it's so hard to get out of the mindset. Even now, coming back as a 32-year-old, I have so many of those old habits from before, an old mindset, like still like, oh, people are going to love me on my comeback if I'm winning. Oh, if I'm losing, I'm going to disappoint everybody. I'm like, what are you saying? Like, just listen to yourself. What are you saying? You're going to disappoint everyone. Nobody cares at the end of the day. Nobody does. Yes.
And if they do, like, that's not your problem.
People are in your corner. They're supporting you. Right.
That's their choice.
The real ones are going to support you. You're winning or losing.
Exactly.
Right. They're not going to think you're a worse person if you lost.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to disappoint. Before it was parents. Now it's coaches. Now it's my kids.
Right.
Oh, they're going to think I'm a failure, because my son, the older one, told the other day, they actually watched one of my matches on live stream when I was playing, and I lost them. And like we're FaceTiming the next day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, mommy, I watched you play, but the other girl won, right? You lost." Like, thanks for reminding me. And they're like, yeah, but remember, mommy's a champion no matter what.
She's like, you loser. You call me
but
back
you
when
lost.
You call me back when you win.
So it's just like getting out of that and like really enjoying the process, enjoying the journey. It's easier said than done.
Totally.
But I really like, I'm starting to like, it's been a lot on my personal like side as well, and just trying to like not have that affect me as much on the court. I'm still not there fully.
Right.
I think I'm almost.
Yeah. But I feel like that's, again, the same, going back to the technical thing. It's not, you feel like you're, oh my God, like when this clicks, I'm there.
Yes,
if you're not. Though.
It's not.
You're not. It's never there. It's ever like something else comes up, and I think that's just life. Like that's just life. Nobody figures it out. Like it's just it's not how it works. We're all really not human, and
and the sooner you accept that, I think
the more you enjoy it.
It's more about like, at the end of the day, accepting where you are in your life, accepting if something is bad, and not fighting it so much. Well, now I'm not perfect, or I'm not feeling great. Okay, accept that and work on it and bounce back from it, and not being stuck on it. Like a point, it's the same in life. Right. And it's so close together that you're never going to master it. Yeah. It's constant work on yourself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally agree. And I think, I mean, going back to what you said about juniors, it's hard for them to expect all this, like, to expect this from them, at such a young age. But I think that's why we need like good mentors and good coaches.
Yes.
Because the same as parents, like kids that are unhealthy, right? Because of what they eat. Yes. That's not on the kid, that's on the parents. Like they haven't reached that age in which they can decide on their own, and they don't know any better, right? So if you feed them something, they're going to eat it. So same thing as for players. Like if you're a coach, a mental coach, a technical coach, a mentor, and you're feeding the kid the wrong stuff, right? You're feeding the kid the wrong feedback when they don't lose a match, when they lose a match or they're not performing well. You're hurting that kid, because they don't know any better. They're learning. They're like sponges. They're absorbing everything they get. Yeah. So it's like, first, it's a huge responsibility. Like coaches and mental coaches need to take this incredibly seriously, because that's the life of someone. As we said, it's not only tennis. Like what they're doing, how they're thinking, that's how they're seeing themselves outside of the court and everything else. So I feel like if you're hurting someone in that sense mentally, you're hurting them tremendously on their personal life, on their family relations
100%.
and everything. So
Yeah.
I think that's why the responsibility comes until, as you said, they reach that age in which is they're mature, and then they can choose from themselves. Like, I want to beat myself up in the court. I want to just like talk horribly to myself or not. You know, that's up to them. But yeah, I think that was a great segment to, and we can further discuss it in other podcasts because it's huge. You know, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, we're people first, athletes second. You know what I mean? So if you want to have, like, as we said, mentally healthy human beings, you know, and that's what the world needs right now. And then that person can go ahead and be the best athlete, the best businessman, the best whatever it is. But you're building good foundations. So I think that's huge.
I just listened to the podcast recently, and it actually shocked me. The number one cause of death right now, ages 18 to 25, is suicide. And that's why we're talking about this mental health and everything. And it's like, it's crazy to me. It's just insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. Just think like because you're going through so much now, and with the social media, and it's scary. It really is scary, you know, like, because our kids are growing up into this world right now. And it's just so much that needs to be talked about, and more awareness that needs to be brought, that if we can help one person with this podcast, you know, like that's already success. But it's just, it's actually scary to think about it. And I have not talked about this enough, but like I've, you know, since I was a kid, since 16, you know, I've dealt with mental, you know, health problems, and I've been on different medications since I was like in my early 20s until last year. You know, it's been almost now a year that I'm completely off every single medication, which is the biggest win for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, am I perfect? No, but I've been through so much that I know how to deal with things now.
Right.
But the thing is, I've been in like the lowest, darkest places like you cannot imagine. And it's scary to think about it. It really, really is. So it is a real thing, but it's possible to get out of it. But it takes so much work on yourself.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, here in the US, how they try to help you is just medication.
Right.
Like, you feel like this, here's this pill, here's this pill, here's that pill. And then you get addicted to that. And then it's like you depend on that. And then we don't want to go that way. Like, that's why, like, listening to the right podcast, like it's like how you feed your body with the right nutrition.
You feed your heart.
You feed your heart, you feed your mind with the people you surround yourself, with the things you listen to, with the things you watch on your social media.
Totally.
Like, so the more we put the good information out there and good resources, the better it is, whoever we can help. But it is a constant work in progress. It's not gonna just come to you.
Exactly.
It's not just gonna come. You're not gonna just be healthy by eating bad food. You're not.
Yeah.
Your mind, your brain is not gonna be healthy by listening to bad stuff and surrounding yourself with bad people. And you know that.
Yeah.
You do the good things. You read the right books. You listen to a good podcast. You surround yourself with good people, and you know that. But it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. It's definitely very, very difficult times, especially for, as we said, younger people, which are the most vulnerable because they soak in, you know, what as you said, they surrounds them. So yeah, I mean, I think, as you said, if we can share stories. I mean, this is a sports podcast,
Yeah,
but as we said, it's relatable
also,
to everything.
exactly,
It really is. It's
yeah.
relatable to everything, and yeah, I mean, from what I see on my age level, at least, for like on my school and the clubs that I participate in, and like,
how old are you?
the people, 24, getting up there, not as old as Emma yet, but definitely feeling a little bit older every day. But I think we've probably built a society that doesn't know how to deal with their emotions too well. You know what I mean? The hard ones, I don't know if weak is the word, but we've been misled to deal with emotions the wrong way. You know, it almost feels like if you feel a certain way, there's something wrong with you. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
And,
exactly.
I mean, this didn't used to happen some decades
Before,
ago. You know, it didn't, because as you said, social media wasn't, there's so much. It's funny because it's like a loop. You know, everything is so based on instant pleasure, right? And instant gratification. So Instagram is just like a bunch of like dopamine just being released in your brain. Everything is like instant pleasure, Instagram. And if you don't feel this, that's where anxiety comes from. That's where all those like, but then you don't know how to deal with it, right? So then you go back into like, oh, I scroll again, and then I consume these drugs or whatever it is that you do to kind of like suppress those emotions and just feel better. They just kind of make things worse for you, just worse and worse and worse. So there's definitely people out there, as you said, that are great leaders. They really want to help, and as you said, there's a lot of ways that whatever works for you, there's ways to nourish like your soul and your heart, and kind of build a little bit of a strong foundation and shield against like the negative things of society, right? That there's so many today, and we live in like very, very dark times in terms of like worldwide, with everything going on in the world, and as you said, social media and everything. So I mean, if we can help with that, I think that's a big win. So awesome. All right, we're gonna do one more before our next segment.
We have 10 minutes left.
Okay, let's do this one because this one's important, because it's a perfect transition into this topic. How do you think in your experience, your tennis and your life relate? Like, have you seen? This is something that like came up recently, but like, what I'm gonna tell you like what I believe, and then you can tell me how you experience it, if you agree or not. Like the bad habits that I have on my life, right? Or things that I think I had to work on my personality, things that I think are hurting me or hurting the people around me. It's almost like are the same things, obviously manifested in a different way on the tennis court, right? 100%. So an example, like an incredibly like busy mind that like I try to do too much, or I'm like overwhelmed sometimes, and I don't take my time. I don't know how to like actually slow down and organize. Order is big for me. Like organize kind of my thoughts, my ideas, and have a plan, and not be so like precipitated. I don't know if that makes sense. Exactly the same happens on the court. And when I work on one thing, it kind of like clicks something on the other, right? I work this on the tennis. I have like a little breakthrough, and then I feel better on my personal life, and I organize myself better. I don't know if that makes sense, 100%. But I would love to hear what those are, like if this is true for you as well, and what those things are, like from things from your personality that you have to work in that have shown in the tennis court. Yeah,
that's such a like, it's correlated. It's so correlated, like the two, because you cannot expect to go on the tennis court and be a different person.
Right.
You can't. You are who you are.
Yeah.
So the habits of the court, you're bringing them on the court consciously or subconsciously.
Right.
It's going to happen. For me, I mean, there are a lot of things, but few things: insecurity and indecisiveness.
Right.
Okay. For me to decide on the smallest thing when I'm ordering right off of a menu.
Yeah.
From like, do I buy these pens or these pens? Do I go here? Do I get like everything? I'm always like so indecisive. I cannot be like, okay, this is it. Right? It's the same on the tennis court when I'm getting a short ball.
And
I have so many options. Do I hit a drop shot? Do I hit an angle? Do I hit a hard here? And then I miss.
Just end up like,
because I had so many options and I could not decide.
Yeah.
But somebody told me when I was young, I remember her like in Croatia, she always said, when you have that short ball, you always go with the first thought. Whatever is your first choice, you always go for that, because whatever next comes, it's not the right. So always go with the first choice, right? So for me, it's indecisiveness, insecurity. Maybe I don't look like it. Maybe I look to people that I'm confident and amazing and all of that. People tell me that a lot, that I do look confident and I do look full of myself or whatever. But like, I'm very insecure in a lot of ways, and I'm working on that. So I'm working. I know what my flaws are, and I'm working on them. The indecisiveness, the insecurity. I don't trust myself enough, right? Off the court with a lot of things in life, I just am insecure. I don't know why. PTSD, trauma from childhood. But it's the same on the court. I don't trust myself. That's why I always go back to pushing or something like that instead of trusting my shots and going for it because I know I can do it.
Right.
And that's a lot with tennis players. You see that a lot in practice. They're practicing amazing and they come in the match and they don't because you don't trust yourself.
Yeah.
So, and then the third one, I'm just going to do like top three. The main ones, I think, is the anxiety stuff. Like you said, I have so much on my mind all the time. I'm like on the return, right? And I start thinking about something else instead of being present or just rushing. I want everything to happen so fast instead of taking my time, point by point, breathing, slowing down. For me, my days and your days were similar in that. It's just go, 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 do. If I have a gap of an hour in my day that I didn't plan anything, it's like, oh, what am I going to do? It's so much. And I can't breathe. It's like stuck here, right? And slowing down everything at the end of the day, it's going to take care of itself. Like you're always going to have so many things to do. There's always going to be so many things. And then being present in the moment on the court in that point. So those are the three things that are.
See, for me, it's like so like incredibly interesting how this works. Like it really like excites me so much to think that you can, it's exciting. Like the fact that you can have issues in your life and that you can like, if you're not able to figure them out, you can look at yourself for the people that play sports, obviously, as an athlete and be like, well, this gives me a better understanding. Like, as you said, I'm about to serve and I'm like doubting myself, right?
Yeah.
And then if you can start like addressing that with a mental coach, with a routine or something, it starts showing effects on your life and vice versa. Like you're really struggling with, I don't know, being super nervous before a match, you know, and like having a million thoughts. You start working that outside your life, for your life, you know, every single morning, meditate 10 minutes, right?
Yes.
Slowing down yourself, giving yourself 15 minutes to just disconnect from everything.
Yes.
And then that starts showing on like, that to me is incredibly amazing. Like amazing.
Amazing.
Like it's incredible.
I know. Wait,
sorry, we're going to have to cut this real quick. Is there any way we can, because I want to just go over one more thing that I really think we should
have 5
include.
minutes.
And we can cut the other segment. That's not important.
Yeah.
Can we cut the word pronunciation segment so we can fit in a little bit more at the end?
No, we're keeping that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
okay.
fine.
If not, worst case scenario, but I think we should really.
No, it's fine.
Because this is like more important.
Just go.
Perfect. Hold on. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, I think it's really, really interesting how that works. And it's interesting to talk to people about how, like, what those things are for them, you know, for you, something we might like, have something in common, like too busy of a mind, right? We're always going like this. And then we don't have the ability to slow down either in our lives, you know, and we're like laying in bed thinking about a million things and it's 2 a.m. in the morning and we can't stop. And then it shows in a match, you know, and as you said, it's always, you feel like you have it under control, but if you don't work in it, it always shows up. I was
really
talking to my girlfriend the other day about this, how the things that you try to like put under the carpet, they always come out. You know what I mean? Like that's not the way. That's not the way to do it. Like you think life is always greater than us. You know, we're like ants compared. You know, so if you think that you like, oh, it's gone, like I forgot about it, you never do. You know, if you have to have the courage, because that requires courage, and that going back to the society that we built, that is very weak and emotionally, right? You have to build people that are strong, that are like, yes, I'm terrified about this. This like terrifies me to death, but I'm going to work with it. You know, I'm going to work to address it in somehow. And then that gives you the biggest satisfaction because you're growing as a person. So I think I think it's a blessing that we have as athletes to have two different ways to like work on ourselves, you know, in the tennis court, and then they're completely related. I think 100%. That's such an amazing opportunity that we should be grateful for.
100%.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Totally agree with that. I like that what you said, under the carpet. And you were like, you know that within yourself. You're like, you know, you're trying to like get it right, but it's going to come back to you.
Absolutely.
It's going to come back one way or the other.
Totally. All right. I'm going to give you a choice because we're about to run out of time. Is that a 4? That's a 4. All right. We can either close with Spanish word segment.
Oh, God.
Like, guess the Spanish word. I'm going to say it's Mexican slang. Or quickly talk about recovery because I just recently got a membership in an ice bath place and I'm like dying to feel what do you think about.
Okay, well, we can talk about that in the next one, the recovery and stuff. Let's do the funny
Mexican slang. Apparently,
I'm going to Mexico. So.
Exactly. This is great. This is perfect timing. Apparently, Emma knows how to speak English. She says Spanish, I mean.
I do.
Right.
Podemos hablar en español ahora. ¿Quieres?
¿En serio?
Sí.
Pero, a ver, si te digo, tipo, o sea, si tenemos una conversación sobre alguno de los temas que hablamos antes, ¿lo entiendes?
No, that's too much.
Oh.
Okay. Like, I understood everything. Like, I cannot have a conversation like that. I can understand when you talk.
Dime qué vas a hacer después de esto, hoy.
Okay. Me voy a comer.
A comer.
Me voy a comer. I will make lunch. And me voy pick up kids. I can't talk, but I understand.
It's Spanglish. It's a Spanglish for me. This is the first time I actually hear you speak, like a little bit.
But I literally.
We should do it more often.
Yes.
We should do it more often.
Sí.
Like, it'd actually be good if you like learn one more language fully.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Let's
that's another thing.
Okay,
in my life
so
right now.
these are Mexican slang words. Obviously, you're not going to know what they are.
Okay.
But the point is that you try to guess, like, from the sound of it, you're going to try to guess what it is. Okay. Just first thing that comes to your mind. Don't think too much about it. Torta.
Torta is cake.
See, it's because you know the Spanish from Spain. That's the problem. Torta in Spain is a cake. Like a sweet cake.
Yes.
In Mexico, torta is like a type of sandwich with like a different kind of bread with like ham.
Really?
There's tortas of everything. It's meat, cheese, lettuce, and everything. Yeah.
Should I have some tortas in Mexico?
100%.
Oh, I can't wait.
They're so good. But like in Bolivia, like in other countries in South America, torta is cake.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a Mexican slang.
Okay.
Parranda.
Parranda. No idea.
Yeah, but you have to guess. You're not going to know any of these.
Okay. I did know, kind of.
That was kind of impressive.
Parranda. Something with music and dance.
What the
hell? That's how it
You knew it already.
I really don't. Parranda. It just sounds like that. I don't know.
That's actually remarkably impressive. That's crazy. That's exactly what I mean. Parranda is like go out in a party.
Oh, there you go.
What?
I don't know.
That was incredible. Okay, that's crazy.
You underestimated me.
Chido.
Chido? Like the food? Chido? Like a guy or an uncle or something?
No, it's like cool. It's like chido is like cool. But literally only Mexicans would know this. Sangron.
Sangron. Sangria, no. Sangron. Sangron. Something with alcohol? Drinks?
Sangria is, sangria is a drink. Sangron is, it literally translates into bleeder. Like
bleeder?
Yeah. But it means like someone that's very like, no, like not charismatic at all. Like the opposite. Like something that's like very.
Sangron, like.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
You. Okay, I'm kidding.
Right. This is you. Naca or for a male, naco. This is a classic Mexican
Crazy?
word. Naco?
Naco.
No. Naco is like cheap, like, like, it's like someone that's like had bad taste, you know, like ratchet.
That's me?
I was kidding. All right, last one. This is a classic. No manches.
No manches?
You're gonna hear this a lot when you go.
Like, oh, no kidding.
No.
Like, oh, you must be kidding.
Yeah, kind of. That's like, not bad actually.
Like seriously,
the little translation
not really.
The little translation is don't stain. Like, don't stain. I have no idea why, but no manches is like oh my god, like come on.
Yeah, like come
no
on.
Manches.
Yeah.
Emma, that's pretty good.
Let's go.
That's actually pretty good. It would be the funniest thing if you go to Mexico and you're like with a like super Bosnian accent, you're like no manches.
No manches. Come on. Vale. No, vale. I don't know.
That's funny.
No manches.
Yeah. That's good preparation.
Okay, I'm hungry.
All right. So thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Emma. I think this was a really like
I love this
in-depth conversation.
We need to do more of
100%. Because this I think is guests are awesome, but this is very useful for people.
Yeah.
I learned so much today.
Same.
Like I think a lot of things that I'm going to write down and I think I can apply.
Yeah.
We can all learn from each other. So I think I love this episode and it's a great recap for what you're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much guys for listening. to another episode. We're super excited to be back. I don't know how often we're going to be together.
I really want to have you next week already.
Perfect.
Because these are more important than the guests. I honestly think so. But thank you everyone for listening. Thanks for taking your time and being here with us today. We missed you. I missed you. And we'll see you guys next time.
Yes. Awesome.
Thank you so much for supporting and listening to our podcast. Make sure to follow us on social media.
And be sure to listen to next week's episode of the Amazing Tennis Podcast.